Winning this one would pretty much seal Fiji's quarterfinal spot. My name's Mark. Let's talk rugby. Fiji versus Georgia. This one is in the Stade de Bordeaux in Bordeaux. It's on Saturday, the 30th of September. Kickoff is at 4:45 BST. This is world rank number 8 versus world rank number 14. So we're going to have a look at the teams. We're going to start with the Fiji team. So the front row there, we got Maui, Matabese, and Tagi. So Maui and Matabese, I think, have had very good tournaments so far. In that front row, at least stood out to me. Tagi, not so much. Maybe it's just I'm not, not noticing as much as I should be. But the other two certainly stood out to me. Then Nasila in the second row, he's another one who really has caught the eye. Then Sirikadaveta, he's caught my eye because every time I see his name I panic because it's really hard to actually pronounce it. But I think that as a second row pairing, they've actually gone pretty well here. Although still their line out, I think still needs work. So hopefully they can get things right in this game. Then we got Tagi Balu, has been good in that back row, but beside him there you got Bhatia, who has been excellent, such a threat at the breakdown, good ball carrier as well. And talk about good ball carriers, Bill Mana there at 8. The guy is just explosive, in the loose and in carrying into contact as well. And it's really they've really gelled together as a back row as well through the tournament. I think they've gotten better as it's gone on. The halfbacks then at 9, we got Kuruvoli and Tella at 10. So, Tella kind of had to, I don't think he was first choice. He came in there, but he's doing a decent job, I think, at 10. And then we got Radradra at 11, another player who's really stood out, plenty of involvements in games. The centre partnership as well of Tuisova and Nayatalevu have also stood out. Nayatalevu, I think, skill set wise, he's really is bringing everything to the table in this one. And, as a pairing as well, they work well, not just individually. On the right wing then we have Ravutau Mada, and then we have Drao Sese at fullback as well. On the bench then we have Ikanivere, Rabai and Tawake are the front row replacements. Then we have Maya Nabanua as second row replacement. Tuisui for the back row. We got Lamani, Botitu and Habosi. Habosi, he knows the way to the try line as well. So if they do need maybe extra try either to win the game, if it doesn't go, it's not going as to plan as they wanted, or to potentially get a bonus point try, then probably Habosi would be a good candidate for that to come off the bench. Onto the Georgia team then, we have Nariashvili, Zamtardze and Gigiashvili in the front row. So Nariashvili and Gigiashvili, I don't think they've had the impact in the tournament that they would want. Now we know that Georgia, they're not the scrummaging machine that they used to be, but still, they would have liked their scrum to at least be competitive, which it hasn't been, honestly, in most games. And then in the loose as well, I think those guys could be doing more. Into the second row then we got Jayani and Mikautadze as the second row pairing. Back row then we have Gachaladze, Saganadze, and Jalagonia. So again, not really having the impact at the breakdown from the back row that we've seen them have outside of this Rugby World Cup. The backs then at 9 we have Lobzanidze and Makava. Makava at times has looked decent at 10, but his forwards aren't really giving him much of a platform, so it's kind of made it a little bit more difficult to have real impact on games at times. Left wing then we have Niniashvili. Centres we have Krevsaladze and Tapladze. Right wing is Tabu Sadze, and at fullback we have Moldabadze. So these guys we've seen them outside the World Cup, and we know that they can throw the ball around and they know their way to the try line, but it just hasn't happened for them in this World Cup. And knowing Fiji's luck, it'll happen for them on Saturday instead. But on the bench then we have Nyoradze, Abaladze, and Siauri, I think, as front row replacements. Then we have Cheyashvili for covering second row. Ivanishvili covering the back row. We got Aprazidze, Abzandadze, and Kakhoidze, I think, covering the rest of the backs there. So in terms of how I see this one going, well, Georgia, they've not really, turned up to this World Cup. They would have looked at that pool and probably, looking at the form of some of the teams coming in, the likes of Australia and Wales coming in, they probably would have thought, we've actually got a chance here to qualify for a quarter-final, but they just haven't produced. And then against Portugal, it looked like they were actually finally going to produce the performance we knew that they could. They got themselves 13-0 ahead, but then Portugal pegged it back. Portugal get ahead. Georgia have to score a try to level up and almost lost at the end as well. So, they're probably going to want to produce a performance in this just to show, listen, to make a statement that, listen, we were at this World Cup and we actually had an impact, which they haven't had so far. But, Fiji, they've been the most impressive of the island teams, and this now for them, they know that if they win this game, mathematically maybe not in the quarterfinals, but they're pretty much in the quarterfinals. They're playing Portugal in their final game, and that's gonna they're gonna get something out of that, and it's gonna be enough to get them into that quarterfinal. It'd be very, very, very surprising if they lost that one. But even if they did, you've got to think that they're going to get a losing bonus point out of that, and that would be enough to send them through. But yeah, this one I think is going to be Fiji. Georgia might have a little bit of a purple patch somewhere in the game, but Fiji have looked impressive in what has been a bit of a dire pool.